Hello and welcome to the third episode on Sport is for the People. Today we're going to be talking all about rugby. But before we do that, can you make sure to like and subscribe, please? So today we're going to be talking about Covid-19 and how that has affected the professional and the amateur game. To start off, we're going to be talking about the professional game. And to start with that, we're going to go to Plymouth Albion player, John Kelly.
How you doing, Ken? You all right?
Not too bad, buddy. Looks like you're enjoying lockdown.
Something like that, mate. Something like that.
Mrs. driving us crazy, hey?
Maybe yours, mate, not mine.
We'll swap and I'll give it an hour before you hand mine back. Don't worry about it. So how has rugby been affecting you guys at Albion and how are you planning on coming back?
Well, interesting, mate, because our season got ended, unlike football, got ended pretty much straight away. We ended, 5 games left, the season got called, all the points got added up, and didn't really affect us in terms of league because we were pretty much safe on that. But in terms of money, like obviously we lost varsity money, that's about 10 grand. You lost the medics game, that's another big one. Usually sell about 5,000 people. So you're looking at like a shortfall of like 20 grand, 30 grand. And that's before you even get into all the home games and paying players and staff. So it's interesting, like Albion was lucky because we got a good fan base. So what they did was they did a fundraiser, raised about 30 grand over about a month, which is pretty good. But
Pretty good.
obviously it's tough, mate, because we haven't got the backing of, like, say, football where you've got big media money where you can just sell it on TV. We have to sell the crowd. We need that for crowd money and we need that beer money. So kind of a shocker, really, because rugby can't deal with big fours like this.
Yeah. How have you been doing it in rugby, or especially Albion for you? Have players been put on furlough? Have you got full pay, or have you been paid while you play, like sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. We it sort of got worked out by how many games you played by that season. So we're all on paid to play except for a few of us. So most of us got like maybe average 3 games a month, which might be £150 a game. So we looked at 8%, maybe 300 quid each. But obviously a lot of the guys are lucky; they've got second careers or first careers. Well, this one being their second one. But yeah, furlough was a bit of a lifesaver for the club, to be fair.
Yeah, that sounds good. What about you, Dog? Obviously, you're involved with the uni rugby team. How's that been affected, and how are you planning on coming back?
Yeah, it's affected us quite a bit, actually. As John mentioned, the varsity game. That's our sort of biggest game of the year. If you don't know, that's Plymouth University against Mardon Uni. Quite a rivalry, and it's our biggest game of the year. For a lot of people that are in sort of their third year at uni, they're just not going to get to do that. And a lot of the freshers coming through didn't get to do their first one. It was quite weird, actually. We all sort of got given our kit, got selected, and got our squads announced, and just didn't get to play. Varsity was literally the day after lockdown would have been. So you've got sort of 5,000-6,000 students that haven't got to do varsity this year. Again, that's missed out with Albion. Our coaches are all Albion players, Sam and Josh. I think the biggest thing is going to be, are we going to get back to playing rugby sort of at an amateur level at all? I think if we do get rugby back, I think professionally it could be done. If players can play, they can make the measures. But at an amateur level, I think just on the pure, how can you have 8 people putting their heads together, breathing in each other's ears like this? Unless we all get a vaccine, I don't think we're going to get grassroots rugby in the same way as we know it coming back anytime soon.
Do you not think that's a matter of time? Do you think, say, in 6 months' time, when this virus is all blown over, everything will pretty much go back to normal?
I think as soon as the virus is over, you would get rugby back, but it's just a guessing game, mate. Nobody knows how and when it's going to come back. I mean, there's talks of rugby changing and maybe do away with the scrum for a little bit and have less time in the mauls, reduce the waiting time from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, try and speed it up. But I mean, that already exists. It's called Rugby League.
Well, as you've been talking, Dog, we've been joined by a new guest, Alex Radford. Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, buddy. How's it going up in Wales?
I can't complain. Nice weather. as you can tell, a bit pink.
How about you then, Alex? Since you've just randomly sprung out of the ground out of nowhere, how do you feel rugby has dealt with the COVID-19 virus?
I always dealt with it.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't really, have they? I mean, it's got a bit fits up. I mean, you can kind of guess why. You can kind of see why they've needed to put everything on stop. But I think bringing back professional rugby could cause more problems than it fixes. I think maybe the idea of maybe not having a crowd could work. But then again, what's happening with rugby? Who knows? I mean, I'm hearing rumours that I might not be playing rugby until 2021. So
Really?
no one really knows, really. So
You'll be playing tag rugby for the next year or so at Albion, will you?
Well, I'm not Albion next year. I'm gone up a level to Doncaster, but
Ooh, big time.
yeah, I know. Well, if it happens,
Championship, baby.
king of the big juice.
If you release their guidelines, like so, you can go back to training. We can go back to training now, pretty much, as long as you're 2 meters apart and you can't share balls, you can't touch each other. But obviously, what rugby suffers from compared to like football is without a crowd, you don't have a way of funding their players. So I know like Welsh rugby in particular relies a lot on that funding from crowds. So unless you can obviously have a decent amount of crowd, like so Albion to get 1,000, other championships maybe 2,000. They can't have a crowd. I couldn't actually see rugby returning in terms of pay or actually at all because you can't pay players. There's no point returning.
No, I get that. They must be in a tough spot at the moment. How to deal with this? Not just the government, but obviously the governing bodies. Because Mulldog suggested, obviously, maybe not bringing back scrums, but does that just ruin the whole game? Is that just changing the rules too much? Mulldog, what do you think?
Personally, being a prop, I love to scrum, and it's the only reason I play rugby. And you have rugby without scrums already. It's rugby league. I think there's been a sort of people that are very anti-scrummaging because of the neck injury risk, sort of in general. But I think those people aren't really in the rugby world, sort of scared parents on the outside kind of looking in. But I don't think until it is safe to do so, it shouldn't come back, as much as it pains me to do so. I mean, professional top-level players can afford to self-isolate and keep away from everybody else for however long it is, a week, 14 days. But your amateur level and even Albion's level, as much as they're professional, they've all got other lives, and it means their entire family has to suffer just because they want to stick their head next to somebody else's for 80 minutes. And it's tough. And without the crowds, people aren't going to watch championship level sport the same as people are going to watch that sort of level of football online. I don't think you're going to fund it as much as it sort of breaks me to say it. Rugby's just not as popular as football. And I just don't think there's the calling for every elite level of... I think the Premiership will probably be okay, and maybe Championship, but I think anything below that will struggle. And then you've also got other nations. A lot of the rugby nations are relatively poor nations like Fiji, Samoa, things like that. I think people like that will massively struggle. They rely on the funding from when they play on all the tours like England, Australia. They obviously get the money from that, and I think those sort of countries will massively struggle with it.
Radford, what have you been doing up in Wales then to do with rugby? Have you heard any news from up there?
Nothing, mate. Same as you. We've just been told by the coaches just to stay fit as best you can. Obviously, no gyms, no personality. No, I've just been running. Everyone's just been, what the boys have been doing is running, cycling. It's just
one of those at the moment, isn't it? Really, to be fair.
Yeah, press-ups.
What do you think could happen to the international game? Because I don't know how long it's going to be until they can start playing international rugby again. Should we go to John first?
I know like there are a few released statements saying they've lost 15, 20 million from it, which obviously is not like that, but it depends on how seriously you take the coronavirus, really. Like I know America have released like certain guidelines for different age groups, but I don't know. It depends how willing we are to risk it. Like obviously, rugby crowds tend to be older, so there's a bigger risk. But obviously, played by young people, so it's such a weird one because it depends how serious you think coronavirus is. Like I don't think it's that serious if you're under 40. So, what if you were to start crowds? Could you make maybe age, or do you just risk it? Say it's your choice to come. It's such an up in the air question. I don't know. What does football say? Like, are they saying anything about obviously Premiership returning their fans, or?
Yeah, Premiership is returning on TV from the 17th of June for the Premier League and the 20th of June for the Championship. But fans, no word so far of coming back. So obviously football can survive with TV money, whereas you said obviously rugby does not have that kind of luxury.
Well, Premiership does. Like Premiership gets like I think you get 3 or 4 million each of the top clubs.
Are you joking? 3 or 4 million each? They're over £100 million each club every year, TV money.
Well, I mean for rugby, like rugby gets 3 or 4 million.
Yeah.
I know football's a bit bigger, but yeah.
Can you just repeat that, please, John? Can you just say football is better again?
For money, mate, it's a money boy. Obviously, I don't know, football's lucky. Like, I don't think you guys had even had to take pay cuts. Well, I know like the Sale Sharks and Newcastle both had to take pay cuts at the top level. So it's a weird one, like just the disparity, because obviously amateur sports like rugby, a lot newer to the game. It's going to be it probably affects us a lot worse because obviously football can just, I don't know, how soldier on.
Wales are going to struggle with rugby. Regional rugby in Wales is dying anyway. They're not getting the crowds. They're getting, for example, local Ospreys. They've got a 30,000 seater stadium. They only fill in maybe 1,500 per game. Yeah. The league itself is just dire. The clubs below it not getting crowds in the game generally in Wales is abysmal. The quality is there. It's just there's no support from the WRU. Whether that will change, maybe people will get bored of being in the house and maybe turn up to watch a bit of rugby, maybe. But I doubt it's going to be as successful as England.
You can only hope, can't you? Moldog, I've seen your uni team have recently elected their social sec and stuff. So I assume you guys are still planning ahead on maybe meeting up as soon as this is done and starting training again.
Yeah, a few of the boys have been doing some online workouts. Obviously, my job being a sport uni, a few of the guys like strength and conditioning coaches, they've been sending out online workouts and doing competitions and things like that. Myself and a few others have managed to get up on one of the pitches and just do a few like circuit stuff, like again, no sharing equipment, just like press up, squats, that kind of thing. Just good to get to. I even bought myself a kicking tee and a ball. went full Johnny Wilkinson. I can kick perfect off my right foot, left foot, bit of a challenge.
Useless.
But yeah, the lads are just trying to. The biggest thing for us is got to be like Freshers Week, recruiting new players. Like, are we going to get a Freshers Week? Are we going to be able to get players involved at all? Like, we're looking at ways we can do like virtual Freshers Week if we have to, but yeah, there's nobody really know. It's because it's so open-ended. We can't just say, "Oh, we can start the season in January or whatever." Like, nobody knows what's happening until you have a definitive what's going on. We're kind of just making up as we go along.
So for uni, for instance, have you guys been told that you're coming back in September yet, or?
So we had a statement today from Marjon saying hoping to get some people back in some way.
Sam, I said a university. You said Marjon's?
No.
Oh, he's gone. He's not having it.
Strong
We've lost Moldog. Couldn't handle the banter. He's gone.
Yeah, he's just thinking of a response.
Just got to look at that pretty little face for the time being. While he's doing whatever he's doing. John, what about you? Have you been told an official date to come back yet, or?
No, we got the same message today. Obviously, waiting for government guidelines, but no, we're meant to start next week on the 7th. That was our set date for pre-season. But they've put us all our money back, so we're looking for next month. Obviously, Australia and New Zealand both started back. NRL started back. Super Rugby's. I don't think Super Rugby's starting back, but the lower levels are starting back. So I don't know. Everyone's looking for next month, but as Bulldog said, it's so open-ended. There's been no answers other than stay 2 meters apart. Like, football isn't a contact sport, what rugby is. So it's a shame, really.
It's a shame. Radford, what else can you discuss about rugby then at the moment? What are your plans personally?
I don't think I've really got any plans, mate.
Cheers for coming on, mate.
Yeah, just to contribute then. No, I don't think I've really got any. I mean, we don't know until we hear from the top. Innit? We can all speculate what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, we're not going to find out until the government step in. I mean, all I can do at the minute is just try and keep fit for pre-season, and when that is, either this summer or whenever. But I mean, it's just try and find someone else to do to keep busy. That's it. That's all you can do. Try to keep the skills up, but at the end of the day, if you can't go out with anyone, you got to keep the 2 meter rule. You can't use the same ball.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't,
tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, everyone's in the same boat at the end of the day. So,
well, Moordog has left, and now it won't let him back in. So that's his own fault. He's lost out there for not taking a joke. John, for you, obviously you've been a bit more higher up the ladder than Alex and Sam. What about your new team? Have they said anything? Because obviously you said you're moving. Have they got different standards?
No, like, we're on the same rules. Like, all we've been sent is so we all get personalised fitness tests, and we're all like passing our fitness tests virtually now, and like we all get sent our diet plans. We're all getting told like we've got to reach the same goal we would have during pre-season, but we've got to reach it by ourselves. I know at the moment I'm on 123 kgs. And my target is 118, so that means I'm on a weight loss program by myself, which is a bit boring. Looking to run maybe like 3 or 4K a day. But other than that, you're pretty much just trying to recreate pre-season by yourself, which is quite lonely.
So are you currently training under your new team or under Albion still?
Under my new team.
So as you've made a step up, have you noticed a difference? Have you noticed there is a lot more professional or?
Yeah, the response is a lot quicker. So we each got told to like hit a certain peak. So the average 5K time compared to Albion was pretty crazy. Like, most of the boys are hitting 20-minute 5Ks, which is pretty fast compared to what I'm used to. I've been around some really fit boys, but 20-minute 5Ks is pretty good. That's up there, pretty good. Like, a lot of boys will do a Bronco test in 4.5 minutes, fight like 5 minutes. I'm hitting about 5.5, 6. So yeah, you just notice like even not even meeting the guys yet, like they're a different breed of athlete, a lot fitter, a lot quicker, train a lot harder, and a lot more serious.
You looking forward to it, I assume then?
Oh mate, as in like been waiting for the step up for years. Obviously played pro, semi-pro rugby my whole life, for like 7 or 8 years now, but this is the first time with an actual decent contract, full-time training. So it'd be great to see.
Well, hopefully you do well, mate, because you never know. You can come back on this show and be playing for England one day, and then I'll really hit the big time, won't I?
Hopefully.
Losing.
Radford, you need to get into the Wales squad. It can't be too difficult, surely.
There's not many of you guys left anymore.
Maybe in another life. Yeah, no, I don't know what the hell's going on rugby now in Wales, especially in Wales, but yeah.
Are you planning on coming down back to Plymouth at any point, or is that you done?
Well, mate, I think varsity was on the cards when John, come down, dress up. When was that? That was April, was it? Was it April? Yeah.
Yeah, March, April, yeah.
But yeah, I think I might just come down anyway, like as soon as they can open up the pubs, and yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe definitely come down for a pub crawl, eh?
Yeah.
Get down to Kitty's.
Oh, definitely, mate. Definitely.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys, and discussing rugby with me. It's been a pleasure. If anybody else has liked this video, give it a like and then subscribe. And leave some comments at the bottom. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers for Alex and cheers, John.
Thank you.
Yes.